The chapter begins with a teenager named Ayumu answering the phone. Apparently it's his brother calling to tell him that he's going to follow the mystery of something, or someone, called the Blade Children. We then see a slightly older Ayumu waking up on what I believe is the roof of a school or apartment building. It appears that the whole phone scene was a dream of an actual event that happened to the teen. As he stands up, he realizes that it's been 2 years since his brother's disappearance. As he makes his way down the building, he hears a commotion and looks down at the courtyard to see a dead girl. One of the girls near the dead body looks up at Amiyu and accuses him of pushing the girl to her death. What proof do you have it was him? For all you know, the girl could have fallen by accident or committed suicide. Also, Amiyu could have been just walking by when he heard the commotion and simply checked it out. As the police observe the crime scene, Sumuro, one of the officers, tells Lieutenant Makoka that the victim's name is Kana and she had fallen from the emergency stairwell on the 6th floor. As he wonders if this was a suicide, murder, or an accident, he asks the lieutenant out on a date. Madoka turns him down by punching him in the stomach. She then tells him to look at the crime scene and tell her what type of incident that they're dealing with. Sumuro states that it's an accident. When he is asked what his reason for saying that is, he replies that if they wrote it down as an accident, then they won't have to drag out the investigation. Yeah, I would punch him too! He then says that it's suicide. However, Madoka turns it down by saying that people who commit suicide are usually concerned on how they look when they die, especially girls. She also points out the glasses that she found at the scene were planted. Sumuro asks if it's possible that Kana wears them all the time. Madoka reminds him that she doesn't by telling him to remember her school ID photo. You know, Kana could have removed her glasses when she got her picture taken, or uses reading glasses. The girl who's accusing Ayumu for Kana's death confronts him. She wants him to admit that it was him who pushed Kana. Ayumu states that it was a coincidence that he was in the same stairwell where Kana fell. The girl doesn't believe him. Before she could argue more, Madoka steps in and tells them that they need to tell their side of the story to her team. Madoka then steps forward and is about to hug Ayumu before stopping herself. According to Mizu, who's been blaming Amiyu, was with a friend when they heard a scream. As she looks around, she sees Kana fallen. When she and her friend arrived at the scene, she saw Amiyu standing where Kana fell from. Sumuro asked Amiyu what he was doing there after school. Amiyu states that he was taking a nap on the roof. When he started to head home, he heard noises from the emergency stairway and went to check it out. When he is asked if anyone was fleeing from the stairway, he replies no. He also points out the fence on that stairway was always in bad shape. The fact about the fence was confirmed by the groundskeeper who had stated that the bolts on that fence had always been weak. However, Madoka points out that the fence could only give way with considerable force, and the bolts and wire mesh had been noticeably warped by a great amount of pressure. Where she stands, this isn't an accident, and there's no evidence of it being a suicide. Sumuro then accuses the team for the crime, but Madoka tells him to stop saying nonsense. She then tells Amiyu to go home and start making dinner. Sumuro is upset about this and tells her that they should take him to the station and grill him. Here's where we find out that Madoka and Amiyu are siblings. Now I don't blame Sumuro for not realizing that they're related. Just because two people share the same last name doesn't mean that they're related. Plus, not all siblings share some family physical traits. Then again, Sumuro isn't that bright. As Madoka and Amiyu are having dinner, she states that things aren't looking good for him. Aware of this, she tells her there's something about Mizu and that she needs to keep an eye on her. She asks if he's suggesting that Mizu is the murderer before reminding him that she saw the whole thing 50 meters away. Amiyu states that there is no other suspect but him unless Mizu has some elaborate scheme. The next day, as Amiyu plays the piano in one of the school's music rooms, he thinks about his brother. Apparently, not only was he great at sports and at school, but he was a famous pianist by his teens and was known as the great detective when he joined the force in his 20s. Just as someone enters the room, Ayumu stops playing and sees Hinoru, the president of the school's newspaper. She asks him for his thoughts on how it feels to kill someone. He states that he didn't do it, which confuses her since it's all over school that he did it. He then leaves the room with Hina following him. After a while, Amiyu questions her on why she's following him. She replies that since he said that he's not the murderer, she's going to follow him to see if it's true. She then asks him where he's going. He replies that he's going to complain to Mizu. They find Mizu at the archery range, and she's not happy to see Ayumu. Masaru, who's Mizu's boyfriend and the captain of the archery club, tells Ayumu not to come near Mizu since he's a murderer. Ayumu announces that he's not the killer. He then tells Mizu that he's going to figure out her scheme. Ayumu and Hino then moves to the crime scene, where the reporter states that he is accusing someone without any evidence. I would say the same thing about Mizu. There is no evidence that it was Amiyu besides being the closest one to the scene, and to our knowledge, he doesn't have any motive to kill her. He asks her about Ikkyo, who is the other eyewitness. The only info that she has is that Ikkyo is the victim's crush and Mizu's friend. She then asks what Mizu's motive for killing Kana. Amiyu thinks it's to silence the victim. Also, he believes that Mizu is involved with another case that Madoka doesn't want him to know. Hino then mentions that Kana was called to the office after a 6th period yesterday. When she got there, no one had any business with her. The student who announced it said that he did it because he received a note telling him to do it. She then leaves and returns to the classroom to finish cleaning it up. As the two head to the cafeteria, a random girl yells and waves to a girl a few floors up. The chapter ends with Amiyu stating that he gets it. I have mixed feelings about this chapter. For the most part, it does a good job of introducing the characters. Amiyu is very bright but is very reserved, while Hino is bubbly and energetic. Sumaru comes off as someone who just joined the force, while Madoka comes off as someone who's been on the force a few years and has seen her share of crime scenes. The only complaint I have is the scene when Amiyu is being questioned. No one asks if he knew the victim or if he had any problems with her. If they have asked, Amiyu could have said that he never saw her until that day, or he has seen her a couple of times around school, but they never spoke a single word to each other. That's all I have to say. I'll see you next time on Read Little by Little.